Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. USD JPY Weekly Forecast Analysis http ntvforex.com News idea 99A2F87 53:34 p.m. Better than expected US payrolls provide respite for the dollar on Friday. Resistance at 106.00 capped the rally and remains strong. Dollar likely to remain weak until US economy resumes stronger recovery. After waiting all week, the US payrolls delivered numbers good enough to rally the dollar back to its recent high but nowhere near strong enough to dispel the negative COVID-inspired assumptions on the US economy. NBSP The USD JPY closed its 5 sessions at 105.95 points from where it opened on Monday at 105.89. The July 27th break of the 106.00 support line that had held for 4 months remains the decisive move. NBSP last Fridayâ's profitâ taking run returned the pair to the 106.00 line, now resistance. NBSP Mondayâ's pop to 106.47 and Tuesdayâ's to 106.20 had no follow-through and the pair drifted lower each day thereafter. The post-NFP run brought the USD JPY back to 106.00 where it closed. NBSP 2 weeks of trading and no movement. The US dollar weakness logic of the last 3 weeks has been predicated on a COVID-launched slowdown in the economy. NBSP The primary exhibit in that case was the mid-July rise in initial jobless claims. NBSP markets will now have to decide if the July payrolls were the confirmation of a deepening slowdown, a normal deceleration from June's torrid pace, or a 1-month reflection of the already retiring COVID surge in June and early July. NBSP The action was once again all on the dollar side this week. Japan Statistical Summary August 3 August 7 Mild improvement in PMI readings and an uptick in inflation in July were countered by the gloomy pronouncements of Japan Governor NBSP Haruhiko Kuroda on Wednesday. Mr. Kuroda said the economy could worsen if the government imposes serious measures to contain the COVID outbreak. NBSP Japan is in the midst of a recession that began in the fourth quarter and shows little sign of easing. NBSP Kuroda warned that if the recession deepened, the country's financial system could be at risk. NBSP The Jibun Bank Manufacturing PMI for July rose to 45.2 from 42.6 in June for the 15th straight month of contraction. NBSP The Services Index climbed to 45.4 in July from 45 in June. Contraction is now at 6 months with the last reading over 50 at 51 in January. Consumer inflation rose modestly on the year in July, suggesting that demand may be putting a floor under prices. NBSP The Consumer Price Index rose 0.6% in July from 0.3% in June for the highest monthly increase since the same 0.6% rate in January. Core inflation also rose 0.6% on the year in July from 0.3% in June for the highest rate since 0.7% in March. Labor cash earnings dropped for the third month in a row in June, falling 2.1% following the 2.3% drop in May and the 0.7% decline in April. Overall household spending declined for the 9th straight month, slipping 7.8% in June after falling 16.2% in May and 11.1% in April. The coincident index for June was unchanged at 73.4 as forecast, and the leading economic index rose to 78.8 from 78.4 in May. NTV Forex US Statistical Summary August 3 August 7 Strong reading for Purchasing Manager saw indexes in July, though not in the employment scores, did not change the market's negative view of the US economy. It is hard to see how the level of incoming business suggested by the new orders gauges will not prompt substantial hiring in August. The unexpected drop in initial claims and the better-than-expected employment outlook were a little better in fortifying the dollar. Looking ahead, the claims numbers will again take center stage. NBSP If they continue to drop, then the market will soon be convinced that the July COVID slowdown is over. Monday manufacturing PMI from the Institute for Supply Management was 54.5 in July, better than both the forecast of 53.6 and the June reading of 52.6. NBSP new orders jumped to 61.5 from 56.4, reversing the 46.8 prediction. Prices paid rose to 53.2 in July from 51.3. Construct spending for June fell 0.7% on a 0.5% estimate in June 1.7% drop. Tuesday factory orders rose 6.2% in June following May's 7.7% increase. Wednesday private payrolls from ADP at 167,000 were far weaker than the 1.5 million prediction but had no predictive value for NFP. Services PMI registered 58.1 in July after June's 57.1. The forecast was 55. New orders soared to 67.7, an all-time record. Employment stayed in contraction at 42.1, down from 43.1 in June. NBSP price paid fell to 57.6 in July from 62.4. NBSP Thursday initial jobless claims fell to 1.186 million in the July 31st week, well below the 1.415 million forecast. It was the first decline in 3 weeks and the lowest level since the pandemic layoffs began in late March. Continuing claims slipped to 16.107 million from 16.951 million. The 4-week moving average for claims decreased to 1,337.75 from 1,368.75. Friday non-farm payrolls in July added 1.763 million positions, 1.6 million had been forecast and 4.8 million were created in June. The unemployment rate U3 fell to 10.5% from 11.1% and the underemployment rate U6 dropped to 16.5% from 18.0%. NBSP average hourly earnings rose 0.2% on the month and 4.8% on the year. Average weekly hours rose 0.1 to 34.5 and the labor force participation rate dropped to 61.45 from 61.5%. NTV Forex USD JPY outlook. The course of the next few weeks depends on the recovery of the U.S. economy. NBSP. If the statistics point to a resumption of the pace in NBSP May and June, then the dollar will soon adopt that energy and rally. NBSP. Absent that improvement, the greenback will continue to sag even though the recovery in Japan is likely to be even weaker and more questionable. Resistance at 106 is the immediate consideration. If that holds, there is limited support to 105.00 and little beneath. NBSP. The area above 106, especially above 106.50, occupied trading for 4 months and is replete with resistance and then support lines. Japan statistics August 10th August 14th. NTV Forex US statistics August 10th August 14th. NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.